The asterisk operator is polymorphic in Python. It can do different things like multiplication, exponents or unpacking, which might sometimes be called dereferencing, depending on the context in which it is used. When unpacking, a single asterisk is used to unpack iterable objects like lists, whereas a double asterisk, which might sometimes be called a double dereference, is used to unpack dictionaries.
Alright, so in this example, again, we have another list defined as before. And look, it's just another way of doing this. A separator, we print that first line, and then again, we're iterating through, right? Element by element in the list. But here we're doing something interesting. We're unpacking, all right? Python calls this unpacking. But in another language like C++, if you saw that asterisk, you'd say, oh, that's dereferencing. Either way, look, row, that represents a whole line of data. Look, this is a multi-dimensional, right? Or two-dimensional list. So it is a list of lists, right? Every element in our list, our outer list, is actually an inner list itself, full of strings and integer values, okay? So it's a nested type data structure. It's multi-dimensional, it's two-dimensional, all right? So in order to get at the inner list, the data, we have to unpack in Python or dereference. You can still call it that, but either way, that's how we get at that inner list that's packed inside of our outer list. Hence why Python calls it unpacking. You understand? So that's what the asterisk is doing here. And notice we're doing the same thing here, right? If I didn't use the asterisk, I wouldn't be accessing the inner list. I would only be getting to the outer list. Look, let's run it, and we'll pull out the asterisk and create a logic error, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. If I run it as is, oh, and here comes the morning train. It's 5:53 a.m. in the morning, right on time. All right, so look, here is our column names, right? Our field names. We used our separator. And then here are rows of data, and we've dereferenced or we've unpacked that data. So we got at the inner list inside it. If I didn't do that, if I were to move these asterisks here and then run it, let's see what happens. Boom! Boom! I just love doing that. Okay. It's fun to blow things up, isn't it, with code? All right. I'm mad. I'm crazy. I tell you. No. Boom! No, okay. You ever see that series, I'm the Evil Midnight Bomber with bombs at midnight? No, okay, never forget that. That's old. All right, so uh, what is exception is a great type error? Why? Because look, I'm not unpacking. I'm not dereferencing, so syntactically I'm not accessing those inner lists that are nested inside of my outer list, which is MLP data. So to get to that, we have to unpack or dereference. So let's add those asterisks back into MLP data in row and run it again and see. Now it does what we want, okay? So just some examples of formatting text with your console applications in Python using different techniques, arguments passed to the print method, unpacking lists and dictionaries and things like that with the asterisk operator. In this example, here's a way you could dynamically size your column width based on the size of the strings. Let's say that you have some, random collection of string lengths, different bits of data inside of a list object. And that's what we have here, rows in the array. And these are all different lengths, or they would be different lengths column-wise because they have a different number of characters, right? Well, we'll use this, and we're going to create an empty list called lens, which we're going to append to. We're going to add, different elements to. So for column and zip, notice that we are unpacking or dereferencing our list here, rows in the array. So yeah, this is a list, but remember that a string is itself an iterable type object. A string is like an array of type character or a list of type character. So character by character, as we unpack or dereference our list here, we're actually scoping into the inner list, which is the list of our array of type character, counting character by character, the length of each string, right? 3 characters here, and then, you know, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, you know, however many characters, 15, 16 characters there, but okay, so we're doing that, and we're appending that to our empty list over here, and we're adding max length v for v in column, all right? And that's for the number of characters in that column. And then when we do that, when we're done iterating through this for loop, we'll have gone through each string and counted the number of characters. And we then have the number of characters in that object, right? And we've done that per row. So then we're going to use this as a variable format to contain and hold the result of joining. And again, we're just dynamically doing what we did previously. Here's the opening curly brace and the colon. And then from the left, right, the less than operator, from the left, counting from the left, convert to a string, L. Well, this is shorthand for looping, for iterating through all of the elements inside of our lens, right? Our what was our empty list, and now it's a populated list because of all the things that we appended once we counted the characters in each string. So we do that, and we're going to go through and we're going to create a column, and then this L here, the width, will be the length of the number of characters. So we'll format the column to accommodate the length of the characters in that string or that substring, okay? And then for row and rows in an array, we're just going to call the print method format, and we'll use our variable format. And again, what are we doing with that asterisk? We're unpacking in Python or dereferencing, right? Like in C++, but the use of that asterisk operator. So look, if we were to run this, what the heck is this weird little bit of code going to do? Well, look, here are our columns, and they're formatted according to the largest width value that we needed to accommodate the number of characters in those strings, right? The list, it's implicit. You don't see it, but remember that a string is really an array or a list of type character. So the string itself is an iterable object, character by character, and then you have multiple strings stored in our list here, up here, right? So those rows were dynamically sized and created using that technique by the maximum number of characters in the string for that column. So useful, yes? No? Interesting. Let's take another look at a dereferencing or unpacking example. I hope I'm not committing blasphemy in Python by saying C++ dereferencing, but unpacking. Okay, so what do we have here? We have a list of prime numbers. We have a function here called product, right? And we're going to dereference, right? So if I dereference it, then I'm passing in like a list or an iterable type object, but I don't want to take all of that iterable or that list at one time. I want to take it element by element. So I'm going to unpack it or dereference it, okay? So, and that's my kitten Jack. I was hoping he could be quiet for just one video, but he wanted to add his 2 cents. All right. So from functools, I'm going to import reduce. And remember we talked about creating anonymous functions, lambda functions, in one of our previous videos? So that's what we're doing here, right? We're going to reduce a lambda function and what we've passed in. So without unpacking and with unpacking, let's look at the difference. Let's just look at the difference in this function. Again, what's the significance of the asterisks with and without? F5 to run this code. Jack seems to like it. All right, look, if I don't unpack If I don't dereference, I have the entire list. But if I use the asterisks here and I unpack, then I can actually, do some math there. I can do something with an element inside that list. But if I don't unpack, if I don't dereference, if I pass in the entire list, I haven't coded this function to be able to handle that, right? It doesn't, I could add a repetition structure. I could create or code a for loop in that method and have it go through element by element if I wanted to. But in this instance, I haven't. And so my Lambda, it doesn't handle that. So look at the display. It just, hey, without unpacking the list, if I print, it doesn't do anything. But if I unpack, if I dereference, then I can actually do some calculating and make use of this function here, okay? And last but not least, let's take Jack is just going crazy over here. I don't know if I'm gonna get through this video. Hey, buddy. All right, so, and let's take a look at our last example here, dereferencing. Look, so we have here a dictionary, right? Key value pairs, except, and this is what you might find typical, like say in a JSON file, right? And this is the secure SSL link to Twilight Sparkle's website. There probably is a website on the web called twilightsparkle.com. Who knows? I haven't. You know what? Let's test that. Let's test that. I just wonder, does Twilight actually have a website? Please don't be porn. Okay, there you go. Well, somebody has it. I can buy it for $12,500 USD. All right. Okay. All right, Jack. Hold on. I'll let you meet them too. Jack really wants to meet you, so we'll get Jack in just a minute. But all right. So look, we have this headers, right? Here's our dictionary as defined, our key value pairs. So sort of emulating the data we would read in from a JSON file. And then pre-process, we're just going to go through this. And then look, if it's HTTPS, if it's using SSL in port 443, if it's not in host, so if that was HTTP, then bad. You must use SSL for HTTP communication. Actually, I guess I would word it that way. I don't know. But, or otherwise, good. You are using SSL, port 443. Yay, good, right? So the first time, let's say that we try to access HTTP. And then without unpacking the dictionary, or with unpacking the dictionary, if I didn't double dereference, if I didn't double unpack this, I'd have problems. I'd generate a syntax error. But look, here's my two asterisks. So I'm double unpacking. I'm double dereferencing. That sounds even better, right? Even more fun. But let me clear the console here and look. Okay, look, because I'm not accessing in my JSON data HTTPS, it's not secure, and so I display bad. You must use SSL for HTTPS communication. On the other hand, what if my JSON data, what if I am using a secure connection, a site with a certificate? If I run it, good, okay? But why these double asterisks? Why do I have to double unpack it? Why do I have to double dereference it? Why? Well, look, this dictionary, it's key value pairs. So yeah, here's my key, but here's my value. And I don't want the entire dictionary. I want the value of a particular key in that dictionary, right? So what happens if there's one asterisk? Okay, look, boom. All right, wait, ready for it? Here it comes. Boom. I love doing that. Okay, I love breaking code, right? But again, we didn't unpack, we didn't dereference. And same thing if there were none, if I just tried to pass in the name of my dictionary itself, and I did no unpacking, I did no dereferencing. Let's hit F5. Here comes, boom! Okay, so, all right. So in this case, to get at the data itself, right, to unpack it, to dereference it, we need those asterisks. Hence, it's not just the x. It can be confusing because in Python that can mean exponents, that can mean multiplication, that can mean all sorts of things. But in contextually, context and the way this is used by context, this is unpacking. All right, this is like C++ dereferencing. Okay, forgive me if I'm, if that's Python blasphemy, but unpacking. So I hope you understand that. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Oh, and let me let you meet the noisemaker here, Jack. He seems to want to meet you. So hold on just a moment. This is Jack, our little noisemaker. I adopted him from the Humane Society in November. He's about 7 months old. But say hi, Jack. Say hi. He wants to play. He doesn't want to be held. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, please tap on or click subscribe and hit the notification bell, and the next time I make another video, you'll be notified. Thanks for watching. Bye now.